Welcome again to my YouTube channel. I hope you've been enjoying the beautiful videos that have been coming your way through this platform. And still your teacher, contemporary teacher, Simeon Gloria. Keep following this page, keep liking and viewing. The Lord bless you. So today, this morning, I'm excited to bring to your doorstep a beautiful exposition titled Cast Down the Accuser. Wow. Cast down the accuser. During the course of this study, I found out that accusation is a nature in man. That is a nature the fallen man picked from fall. So the tendency to become an accuser is with every man. But this study is coming our way to cast that thought down. It's a fallen thought, a fallen imaginations in men that make them blame things, make them blame situation, make them accuse people for things they couldn't have done for themselves. And we're going to look at the chief of them all, which is Lucifer, and how it all started. So our scriptural exposition this morning will be taken from Revelation chapter 12 from verse 10 to 11. And the Bible says, "And I heard a great voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the kingdom of his Christ. For the accuser of brethren is cast down, which accused them before God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives, even unto the death." The Bible says that there is joy in heaven because the accuser of brethren is cast down. And who is this accuser of the brethren? Lucifer. The one that went to meet Eve, the one that went to deceive man in the garden. He is the main accuser of brethren. No wonder that everyone, he is the most accused being on earth, because the Bible says the measure you use for others, that same measure shall be measured unto you. So because he's an accuser of brethren, going up and down to accuse people, the same thing is measured to him. So if you ask a small child, why did you misbehave? You say he doesn't know that it is Lucifer, it is the devil. Why? Because he is being given at the same measure, the same coin, that he is paid back the same coin he is using against others. This is why you must desist from accusation. Remember I said that accusation is a nature that man picked after fall. So the tendency to accuse people, the tendency to blame situations outside ourselves, the tendency to accuse people is with man. But this study is coming our way that it is possible to cast down that imagination. The Bible says casting down imaginations and falling thoughts against that are not in proportion to the will of God. So the study is telling us to cast down accusation. Accusation, an accuser does not see anything good in people, does not see anything good in places. He condemns others, he blames people for their woe. That is what the devil does. And so the Bible says in the book of Job chapter 1 verses 8 to 10, when the sons of God came before God, that he too came, and then God had conversation with him. He said, there is none as righteous as Job. He has been blameless, is walking blameless on earth. And then he said, why won't he be blameless when you have blessed him? He started accusing Job and accusing Job. That same thing he did to Job is the same thing that he does to believers. So you need to cast them down. But before you can cast down accusation, you must first of all cast it down in your mentality. Cast it down in your imagination. One of the time I went home to visit my mom, peace to her, before her demise. And we are in the process of talking. I brought up the case of my sister. She became mute, and she couldn't continue with me. So I left the discussion. After a while, the discussion, we're talking about the family house, and I brought up something that my brother should have done, that he's not doing well as a young fellow. She also kept mute, and then that was how that thing dropped on the floor. So I started reasoning. I said, what has happened to this woman? So I noticed that she has come to awareness where she must not accuse people that she should bless. There are people you must not accuse. If you are a married woman, you must desist from accusing your spouse. Oh yes, stop blaming him for everything. There are people you cannot just bring their case before God. Each time you bring their case before God, you delay them. And while you delay them, you delay yourself also. As parents, we must learn not to accuse our children. Just like I learned from my mom. She refused accusing them because she has learned from bitter experiences that what she speaks goes after these children eventually, especially with family members. Don't forget, the Bible says when 2 or 3 are gathered, that I am is there. So when we gathered, when I and Hal gathered and we're discussing about the way forward of the family, and we started blaming it on somebody who should have done what he should have done, she kept mute. She didn't add her contribution. Peradventure, there was an I am spirit that was around to take what she would say and then use it against that fellow. And it will become a judgment. And then she too will turn around and start praying. So my question is, have we not succeeded in accusing people that will turn around and start praying for? For instance, if I am as a wife, keep accusing my husband every time, every day, and saying he has not done this for me. He has not done that for me. And keep accusing him. I am still the one that will be plugged into pain, into lack, into poverty, making the family lack everything, because when accusation is in place, it delays the hand of God to help. It delays people from getting favor from God. And then it takes away the hedge of people. Just like the case of Job, his hedge was taken away and then he was offended. Job was terribly violated so that everything he had disappeared because there was an accuser in his heaven. So he cried and said, had he been, he had a dazed man. A dazed man is an intercessor. I want you to drop the ministry of accusation and take up the ministry of intercession. Yes, you might not have loved everything about your spouse. You may not love everything about your children. Everything might not have gone well the way you wish. But you can intercede. You can hope against hope. The Bible said the heroes of faith in Hebrew 11 hope against hope. So it is better to speak the solution you want in a problem than to go about talking the problem. Shepherds say that people keep things alive talking about them. So the place of accusation is to cast them down. It is the destiny of this church, of this millennium, of people to cast down accusation. It is not something you pamper. You have to cast it down. But before you can effectively cast it down, you have to cast it down in your mentality, cast it down in your life, and then separate yourself from friends that all they do is to see things wrong about others without seeing anything they can do for themselves. Don't forget, your hands are not broken. You can do those things you want to do for yourself. You can depend on intercession to bring the needed change you want in the life of your parents, in the life of your siblings, in the life of your spouse. Stop the art of accusation. The Lord bless you. And see my humble self, Simeon Gloria. I hope this thing will change your paradigm, make you an intercessor instead of an accuser. Keep liking, sharing, and commenting. Bye. See you next on my next video. Thank you.
It's a river of life that flows from the lion's throne. There is a fountain of life that flows from Emmanuel's throne. There is a river